All right, let's go to the Central Florida Behavioral Health Network WDA hotline. Learn more at cmbhn.org. He's with us on a Friday. I know he's a very busy man, so we certainly appreciate his time. The Rays president of baseball operations, Erik Neander, is back with me here on The Drive on WDAE. Happy Friday, Erik. How's it going?
Happy Friday. I'm focused on Friday. Appreciate you focused on next Tuesday, but we're staying present.
I know you are. I know it's one game at a time. I realize what the blueprint looks like, and you got the Angels, but you got a lot of Rays Dodgers connections, obviously. You know, next week on their side, on your side, a couple of former Dodgers on this team, a lot of Rays, obviously, on that side of it, including your former boss, Andrew Freeman. Any texting back and forth between you and your former boss with the series coming up?
No, not quite yet. No better than that. Texting, yes. Nothing about playing each other next week. But no, Andrew's a good friend, mentor. Always great to me here, and learned a lot, and stay in close contact about all sorts of stuff. And from time to time, he keeps me from making a terrible decision and screwing something up here. And hopefully every now and again, I return the favor.
Well, look, I'm sure you guys are as tight as you are, and they're in first place, and you're in first place, and that should be a good series early next week. You got the Angels coming up this weekend, but overall, at 40-25, you played 65 games. You tied for first. You're in a good spot considering some of your injuries, but what is the overall outlook on this team so far after 65 games?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's, winning at a 6-15 clip or whatever it is, being 40-25. I mean, it's, we haven't played our best baseball, every game for 65 games. Nobody does. We had an unbelievable stretch where we played about as well as we possibly could, and a really exciting brand of baseball. And then we went through it for a little bit, and we're a bit out of sync. This past series against Boston, finding ways to win all three games, getting really good, outings out of the starters there. Certainly Rass was unbelievable in the finale. That helps. That gets us back on track. But look, really proud of where everybody is. We've at one point or another, I think we're approaching 20 different IL placements, as it's been, and no excuses. Got to find ways to win games. Got to have guys step up. Austin Slater joining the group. Just got to find a way to make it work and keep it moving. So pleased with really. I mean, anytime we're playing 6-15 ball over a stretch of 65 games, you have to be pleased. There's things you want to make better, but we can play 6-15 ball all year. We'll be in a good place at the end.
For sure. And you just talked about him, Drew Rasmussen. Let's talk about how overly enjoyed you are with his performances. Obviously, the 13 strikeout game, last two starts, 14 innings, just 3 hits, no runs, 22 strikeouts. And he's gone 7 innings in 3 of his last 4 starts, and 6 of his last 9 starts. He's thrown at least 90 pitches. I know you want to be very careful about his workload, but are you putting a little bit more on him? It certainly looks like it, and he's certainly delivering in a very big way.
Yeah, I mean, so much of it is, look, he's had 3 major arm surgeries, elbow surgeries, and, I think forever we are going to be cognizant of that and, balancing, his career and how much is still in front of him versus the present. But certainly when you're efficient, you're getting outs the way he does, and the way he did this last outing, it allows the opportunity for Cashy Kyle to put their heads together, medical group, and be a little more open to taking him a bit further. So, he's continuing to bounce back. He's recovering. He's doing all the things he needs to do to maintain his strength. And as long as that's the case, then, you look for those moments to help him, stretch himself a little bit further. And I think the staff and Drew have done a wonderful job of managing it, not just this year, but throughout his time here and, going back to the end of 24 forward. There's not much precedent for someone doing what he's done with the health history he has with the 3 major surgeries, and it's a heck of a team effort led by Drew to keep him not just out there, but frankly dominating. And nobody deserves it more, and we're going to do everything we can to keep building.
Rays President of Baseball Operations, Erik Neander, is with me here on a Friday on WDAE on The Drive. Rays and the Angels tonight to kick off a West Coast swing. You can listen to all the action right here, of course, on your home for Rays baseball, 95.7 WDAE AM 620, also streaming through the iHeartRadio app. Let's talk about a guy who just keeps getting better and better with age. Yandy Diaz leads the American League in hitting. He's hitting .444 in the month of June. And I go back to last summer when you were coming up towards the deadline. I know you were getting some calls on Yandy, and you know this because of how long you've been doing this. Sometimes the best trades are the ones that you don't make, and I know there was a lot of interest in Yandy, and you resisted whatever it was that was out there. Are you feeling that much better about that decision right here, right now, considering what Yandy's doing and what he has done?
Yeah, I mean, without question. Yeah, I don't. You said it well. There's plenty we look back on that we've made, that we haven't made, that you're yeah, far from perfect. But with Yandy, he's just meant so much to this organization going back to 2019, and a hitter of his caliber, and that creates offense the way he does. He's found a way to tap in enough power, but just a nose for getting on base, a nose for using the whole field. It's just a really tough at bat, can handle any type of pitching, any type of quality. And he's been a mainstay for us, and he just keeps doing it. And he was born to hit. He takes great care of himself, and he's going to continue to hit. And one that we're really appreciative is on our side, and candidly just has always wanted to be here, and has valued being here. And that means a lot. And we're just kind of trying to keep that rolling and enjoy the ride that he's taken us on offensively.
Yeah, he's a hitting machine, man, and he keeps getting better. Thank goodness we've got him on our side. On the opposite end, unfortunately, Chandler Simpson has struggled. I know he's got a sore thumb, 1 for 16 this month. Maybe the league is adjusting to him, but what is your overall view on Chandler? Where are you at right now with him?
Yeah, I think belief in the profile, the player, the talent, and just the way he's made up. Those are as solid as they are. You ride the highs, the lows. It's all part of the journey. But Chandler's someone we believe in. Think the world of him. As a person, the work ethic. It's all part of it. He hasn't gone through a stretch like this, a little bit beat up. Certainly that can play a part, but he's learning, he's growing, and he's going to come out the other side better for it. In the meantime, just need some other guys to pick him up, as he sorts through it. But it's, like I said, it's all part of it. The the big leagues they're tough. It is the absolute best, and I can't imagine he's gone through a stretch without stealing a bag like the one he's in right now. He probably hasn't gone through a stretch of not hitting up to his standards the way he has now, but the work ethic's there, the belief is there, and we're going to stay behind him. And a stretch like this will be a distant memory here soon enough because of just who he is and the talent he has.
Erik Neander, the Rays president of baseball operations, is with me here on a Friday on The Drive on WDAE. And now, Doctor, this is your favorite. And I know you all week long with all of your meetings and everything else. This is the one time of the week that you absolutely just love, don't you?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Dr. Neander's in the house with the white jacket and the stethoscope and everything else. Let's talk about Craig Kimbrell. He's eligible to come off the IL today. Where's he at? Is he going to rejoin the team in Anaheim? Is his return imminent?
Yeah, I think imminent is a fair word, though I'd have to look up the definition to make sure I don't promise anything that we don't deliver on. But yeah, he's about ready to go. He's thrown sim games. He feels great. So I think the big thing is just making sure that when he drops in, he's good for that day, and he's good to pick up a workload right behind it. Because our pen's taking a lot of innings. You need to be ready to go, not just to be active, but to handle the back-to-backs, to handle the 3 out of 4s, et cetera. So, but he seems like he's in a really good place, and as you noted, he's eligible as soon as today, and would anticipate him being active sometime, on this trip here. The exact timing probably depending a little bit on. I'm not with the team; those on the ground, medical coaches, on just the best landing spot for him. But feel pretty good about him being back here shortly.
All right, very good. So it sounds like tonight, perhaps, or tomorrow at the latest. But Craig Kimbrell's return looks imminent here with your Tampa Bay Rays. What about Johnny DeLuca? Good news there, right? Hamstring injury. He's on the comeback trail. He's going on a rehab assignment, right? Where are we at?
Yep, he got to face Kimbrell, and feels like he's in a really good place, and he'll be starting a rehab assignment today with Durham. So he's, you know, put him through the rehab, get him his at bats, make sure he feels good on his legs, all the basic conditioning to prepare him to come back and join our team. But he's on his way, and it starts with the rehab assignment this evening or today with Durham.
And how long is that going to take? It's just going by feel, because I know this hamstring thing has been kind of a chronic thing with him. Is it going to be a week, 2 weeks, or you're just going to go by feel?
Yeah, I mean, I think kind of go outing now. He's looked good. The timing seems to be in a good place. You have the part of it, the physical considerations, and making sure he's fully conditioned and ready to go on that side for everything that's required. And then you just have on the offensive side the timing and all that, and wanting to make sure that's in a good place. So kind of go day to day with it. I would certainly expect a handful of rehab games at minimum, and then you just see kind of how he's feeling, where he's at, how his body's bouncing back. But hopefully we're not too far off there, and he's a player that we've missed. He puts the ball in play, great athlete, advances multiple bases at a time, great defense, and the handedness, hitting from the right side, balances out our outfield group. And we've certainly missed him, but can't wait to get him back, and we'll hear soon.
Yeah, hopefully we can get him back sooner rather than later. Erik Neander, wrapping it up with him. So Johnny DeLuca wasn't the only guy who faced Craig Kimbrell the other day. Gavin Lux was also in there. I know he's coming back from the shoulder issue. Where does he stand right now with you guys?
Yep, he's back in the baseball activity and just working to get the health to a good spot. We don't want to do what we've done here, kind of a couple times over, of just not being at 100% before we get him out there. But we are back into baseball activity, as you noted. Just need to make sure the health's dialed in before he ramp back up towards games. But he's doing well. Not like DeLuca's got the rehab starting tonight. We're not quite there yet, but he seems to be in a good place physically, and we're just going to keep moving it along. And like I said, when we get him back out to rehab games, want to be absolutely certain that he is in a good place and ready to go.
And Manny Rodriguez, Edwin, who said a couple of guys in that bullpen that you're hoping to get back at some point. Any updates on those two guys?
Yeah, Manny's feeling great. He's playing catch. He's progressing daily through his rehab. But we've excuse me. He's coming along well. He's into his throwing progression and starting to get on the mound and do that. At some point, we'll get into live, facing hitters, but we're not to a specific hard date on that. He is progressing, and on Edwin's side, he's rehabbing. Just unfortunate to have another setback, the issue he did. I think we're a few more weeks of rehab and kind of reassess where we are and whether or not he could resume throwing a few weeks from now. But that's down the road. Just trying to get that shoulder fully resolved as best as we can, and still a few weeks from considering putting a ball in his hand.
Well, also down the road, before I let you go, is the trade deadline. I know we're still weeks away, August the 3rd. Have you begun any exploratory, conversations or thoughts about what you might be looking for? I know we're still a ways out.
Yeah, I mean, not quite yet in any sort of great detail. You have some preliminary calls and get a feel for things. But, I think right now a lot of our focus is on our group, getting healthier and making sure we're doing everything to support the group we have and to win baseball games. And as long as we continue to win baseball games, and as long as we are in contention to win the division, then more open-mindedness to being aggressive and finding various ways to help this group. But not quite there. The draft is going to start to take a lot of time and energy as we get close to the All-Star break weekend right before the All-Star break. But yeah, certainly you always got the phone on. You're always thinking about ways you can make yourself better, and certainly don't want to be lazy. So some of that's going on, but not a whole lot of activity. My guess that not just with us, but across the league, we probably won't see a ton until those last couple weeks in July.
Gotcha. You got a big summer ahead of you. You got the second pick. You got the trade deadline coming up. You're in first place. I know you're a busy man. Erik Neander, the race president of baseball operations. Thanks for a few minutes. Thanks for checking in. Let's get some dubs this weekend. We'll talk to you next week. Appreciate it.
Let's do it. Have a great weekend.
You too. That's Erik Neander. Great stuff there. All right. So, some exploratory stuff, a call here and there. You're not going to see anything on a more intricate scale, for a while now. But, those conversations start, weeks in advance. Some things happen, over the course of time. Some things develop really quickly. But you heard him mention, a couple of calls here and there. I had to throw that one in there. I'm sure he loved that question. Like he thought he was almost ready to get off after the injury question. Yeah, sometimes you got to stick one in there every once in a while. All right, great to have you with us on this beautiful Friday. Your thoughts on what you heard. Looks like Craig Kimbrell's rejoining the team this weekend in Anaheim.